Hi, I'm Michael Wargo, team pilot with Hobbyking, and today we're going to do the Pilot's Perspective series on the FLYCAT V2. This aircraft is an incredible trainer EDF. I think it is probably the most ideal first EDF. One of the big reasons is the entire bottom of it, turns this thing into a giant wing. It has very light wing loading, and the plane itself is just fantastic. It's so docile. So if you've been thinking about an EDF, this is the one to get. It's big enough, powerful enough, flies like a bigger EDF. The real tiny ones fly a little crazy. These, especially if there's a gyro in it, which there isn't in this one, they just fly amazingly well. They land really easily too. So today, this one has retracts, a twin boom tail. Everything is just a little easier to handle than most EDFs. So I will show you that and demonstrate it to you. But today, again, this is the pilot's perspective video. That means I'm going to show you everything you need to know before you take it off, during flight, and all the things you need to know if you're a more advanced pilot and you want to do some cool stuff with it. I will give you that as well. But the first thing we have to do is maiden the aircraft. So here we go. Okay, I am going to state the obvious. Make sure all your flight controls are going in the right direction. Set everything up as the manual dictates. Set the CG where the manual dictates. And with an EDF, there's a few things you have to remember before you take off. And I'm going to put the plane on the runway and I'll share all that with you. Stop. Now that you've got the plane on the runway, a couple things that you need to know. First of all, in order to ensure good control of the aircraft, especially when it starts, sometimes it's necessary to put a little down elevator. That puts a little pressure on the nose wheel. If in fact this is your first EDF, there are a couple more things you might want to pay attention to. And that is, you might want to dull the steering down a little bit, add a little extra expo to it or something. In fact, you can add a lot to it, just as long as you have enough on the end to turn the airplane in taxiing. Big mistake with EDFs a lot of times is they're not used to the fact that it's being pushed. So it's kind of different than it being pulled by a propeller. As it's pushed, it does create a situation where the steering is a little touchy. Once you get used to it, it's not a big deal, but it is something that we want you to pay attention to before you start. We don't want you to fly into the pits. We don't want any accidents. So we want to make sure we're kind of vigilant on that nose wheel. The second thing you need to know, which is more important than anything, is leave the aircraft on the ground. Don't snatch it up. Do not pull the elevator. Let it take off by itself. Sometimes, there's a little elevator built in. Sometimes it bounces up, whatever, just take it. But speed is your friend with an EDF. It is way different than a propeller. There's no prop wash. So the only thing helping the plane do anything is airspeed. If there's no airspeed on a propeller airplane, you've seen it even almost in a hover, where you have control over the surfaces, and that's from the prop wash. But an EDF at 5 miles an hour, the steering doesn't make any difference. They're just flopping in the wind like they are on your bench. They don't have any effect on the aircraft. So we need to take off fast and try and make the first takeoff kind of smooth and low to make it look good. And then once we're up, we're going to complete this maiden. All right, steering very well. Look at how pretty that lifted off. This is a really nice aircraft, by the way. All right. All right. We needed a little down elevator and trim. One more. 2 clicks of aileron. 3, and that should be about it. Okay, this thing is flying really well. Now, gear up. I forgot it had gear, so I lifted the gear up. So now, I am going to tell you exactly what we want to do as far as turns, because this is really important. We've got to have power going into turns. Add a little power to move into the turn, and don't turn sharp. turning sharply has so many disadvantages. Not just that it looks ugly and it looks like you don't know what you're doing, but it also, you know, it diminishes your airspeed so quickly as you turn. If it's wide, you see how much airspeed was lost on that turn? I mean, it's a lot. And since EDFs are prone to tip stalling more than a propeller airplane, you have to be careful. The one mistake I see over and over and over and over again is people flying too slow and making the turns slow like this. If I'd bank it and pull the elevator, the plane would fall out of the sky. Got it?
Yep.
All right. Anyway, this plane has plenty of power, plenty of pep. I mean, it's got a lot of climb out. As a EDF, this plane will do quite a lot. It's not spectacularly aerobatic, but it holds lines really straight. So now at this point, there's a couple things I need to do, and one of them is I need to check the CG to make sure I'm on the mark. And in order to do this, I always do this on the maiden flight because it might need another one to balance it properly. Go up at a 45, invert it, and right now it is pretty nose heavy. So I thought I had it on, but I guess I don't. So when we land it, we're going to take it back up and try to make sure we balance the jet properly. It being a little nose heavy isn't a great big problem. But anyway, this plane should just fly like a dream constantly. It has no bad habits. I mean, no bad habits. I really like it. There's a lot of these that have been done over the years with no landing gear, and you just throw them. And actually, if you're going to have a first EDF, it's not a bad idea to just leave the gear up and belly land it in the grass, because this will belly land just fine. Let's just try a nice low pass, low inverted pass.
Flight mode 3.
Okay, we've had a little fun with it. We've had our maiden. We know it's a little nose heavy. It means it might come in a little faster than it normally might. This plane does not have flaps. So I am going to take a nice long approach like I always preach.
Gear
Drop the
down.
gear. Nice long approach. Nice low bank. Pay attention, it's the first one. Okay, there was no wind today, so it's landing a little fast because there's no flaps and nothing to really slow it down. And EDFs are very slippery. These airframes it's a jet, so it's fast. So you need a longer approach than normal when it's not windy. This field has trees on both sides that make a really long, low approach a little difficult. You have to stay a little bit higher. And of course, all that altitude, once you drop down, turns into more airspeed, so you need to take a second to let it slow down.
Gear up.
Again, for any advanced pilots, you know, the thing to do with a plane like this is, you know, always fly nice, long, smooth lines. This plane is pretty fast. Absolutely love hard banking long turns. This plane seems to hold knife edge pretty well. So I'm going to try a little knife edge circle, see how that looks, see how that holds. The twin boom on it means it's requiring very little rudder. All right, we're going to do a little right to left knife edge now. Kind of rolling into the knife edge, so I'm going to have to mix that out a little bit. I am going to do a left to right now and really try and mix it so it's perfect. I didn't have any mixes in it at all, but it does need some. Yep, it's rolling in on both sides, so we're going to fix that. All right, here we go. Let's check our knife edge here. Much, much better. It is not rolling out anymore. I think I got it right the first time, which is a good thing. Let's try it on this side. That's pretty nice as well. In my opinion, this definitely flies nicer on, you know, with a bit lighter battery. This is a fairly heavy one. Personally, I think this plane is really, really nice. I think it's got a lot of really good flying attributes. It is very easy to fly. It's very floaty, and when you saw it land, you could see how nice and slow it lands. This twin boom style tends to be a little easier to see in the air as well. Like I said, it doesn't have flaps, but it doesn't need them. So I think overall it's a really nice high performance EDF. Like I said, look at that, plenty of vertical. Flies the straight lines well. I will give you the mixes that I added, and I think you should be able to fly all the knife edge maneuvers and all the point rolls just the way I did. 4-point roll. I'll have a little bit, but I have a much heavier battery in it. So nice. Anyway, this thing really does, like I said earlier, it does land so easy. And it's just because of the big wing. The wing loading is really good. So I'm going to drop the gear, pretty slow and pretty nice. Okay, here are my rates. For the aileron, I have 100% and 49% expo. Mid rate is 75 and 35% expo. Low rates are 50% and 20% expo.
Flight mode 3.
The rudder is 100% and 27% expo on high, 70%, 24% on mid,
Flight mode 1.
and 50%, 16% on low. Elevator is 100% and 30% expo.
Flight mode 2.
Mid is 75% and 25%.
Flight mode
Low rates are 50% and 20%. Okay, the mixes I have are 5.5% rudder aileron on the left side and minus 5% on the right. There is no rudder elevator. It wasn't pulling or pushing in either direction. Well, in conclusion, again, I really think this is a great first EDF. If you want something to tool around in a small space as well, it can fly slow, take off slow, land slow. It's very docile. As you can see, it's docile in inverted flight. It's pretty darn aerobatic. It's got a really nice roll rate, and I think this is a plane that just about anyone would enjoy. The retracts are very nice. It tracks straight. This really, I don't have anything bad to say about it or anything you really have to watch for. I think even everything is trivial as your maiden or something is just going to be very easy with this plane. It just doesn't have any bad flying habits. And with no bad flying habits, odds are you're going to have a really good experience with it.